Welcome back, creative people. So let's continue with coloring this sketchbook. This is the next one here, and this is my D&D sketches for the gameplay, like the D&D campaign I did a year ago. And this scene here, I finally just got around to watercoloring it. This scene here is basically our characters got ambushed by the big bad, which is like a kobold high level necromancer. And these are his henchmen, a bunch of bugbears? I think they're bugbears. Yeah, you see here that he has some magic gems that he tossed at the character in the ambush. They're in the dungeon of the witch. After they're trying to escape the witch's dungeon, the necromancer, V'ger, that was his name, inspired by the Star Trek, one of the old Star Trek movies, ambushed him, teleported to the dungeon and ambushed him. And this one here, this is my character, Yusuf Altrades. So let's go ahead and do a watercolor, and then maybe touch it up with a colored pencils later on. So I use the White Knight's watercolor, which is a Russian watercolor, and I've been trying to do like a specific like color palette for each of them. Remember the last one I did was the witch, and I kind of did almost like a very muted palette. And for this one, I did a bunch of thumbnails, and I sent some. I made a few polls on my different social media accounts asking which color palette should I use. So these are the ones that I did. You see here, this is the actual color is not going to be like that. This is just like the kind of flavor that the color palette will use. I did those two, and here this one's more purple. But I think in the first I added these couple of ones, but then I narrowed down to more of these purplish violet and colors with yellow. You see these ones here, and this one's upside down. This is almost the same as that, but this is 2 colors versus 3. And so I narrowed it down, and most of the people they voted was this one, and also I think these two were tied in this one here. But after I did this poll on my social media, I actually found a cool site. This is a printout from sarahrenee.clark.com. No, sarahreneeclark.com. You see here, and she has some PDFs, and you have to purchase them. That a bunch of photographs with different color palettes. So I got that, and I found one that I like, which is this one's like a cityscape, and they use like 5 colors for each of their color palettes. And so I'm going to go with something like, see, this is like a cityscape, something similar to this. And with my White Knight's watercolors, they're not exactly the same as these, but then I noted them down here. I used azure for the dark blue, cerulean blue for the steel blue, Titian red for what they have here is theirs is called blood orange, violet, which is purple in theirs, and then instead of black I use Payne's gray. And I put some notes here like azure I should go lighter and violet I should go lighter. And there are a couple other colors too. I noted here we want to use like, this is for like highlights, white gouache with cerulean blue, and then even notice there's some orange here. There's a little bit of orange. So I noted orange golden. So yeah, that's the color palette I will use. And so I got my the watercolors wet with the make sure that because you don't want to just do it, add the water later. Once you start, you want to do it beforehand. So I wet this specific pans that I want to use. And so and as well, you see here that I kind of use this design or this palette mixed with the one I just showed you. And I know here what I wanted to do. See the background here is cerulean blue, and the enemies are all azure. The trails for the magical gems, they're violet, and then the gem itself is red. The explosion is red, and the flash of the explosion is violet. And my main character here is golden, and then you'll see some violet highlights. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and try it out. So let's go ahead and do the background. Remove my reference, my thumbnail reference. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do first is just kind of model the first layer. Just model each of these areas, not like paint the whole thing, just just to give it a little shape to each of them. So I'm going to do the wall and the floor first, and we'll use the cerulean blue for that. At this point, I'm not really worrying about the lighting. I just want to get the shape of each of the objects. I have to move my palette a little bit, so I can move this around. Remember, watercolor dries lighter, maybe a shade lighter than what it looks like when it's wet. this floor down. Let's work on the enemies. So we'll be using Azure for this. And I noted that I should go lighter. So let me add a little bit more water to it. Right now I'm just doing the modeling the shape. Yeah, this is the first time I've been using this approach, so we'll see how this one works and see if I like it better than what I did for the first painting that I did for the witch a couple weeks ago. once I add the lighting and stuff, the main light source is going to be this explosion here. Yeah, I like to try different things with this sketchbook. After all, that's the point of it. And see if I could come up with something that I like with the different mediums that I have. Since this one is a watercolor sketchbook, you know, obviously it's going to be mostly based on watercolor. But then I also have like the intense pencils and blocks, and then also some watercolor pencils. I also have these Caran d'Ache crayons. And then also, as far as paintbrushes, I also have the water brushes, the Pentel water brushes. I haven't used them in a while though. That was supposed to be the other character's ears, so I overlapped it a little bit. Yeah, these was it bugbears or knolls? I think they're knolls. I said bugbears, yeah. Knolls are the one. Something remind me that I haven't played D&D in a while. The ones that are like kind of like dogs, those are knolls, right? And bugbears are just like the furry orcs. You can see it has like a, this one has like a bone dagger in its mouth. Maybe start using a bigger brush for this one. I'm not sure what type of paper they use for these sketchbooks. I have to look it up again. Go back and do this here. I use the bunch of hyena references when coming up with a design for these knolls. And one thing I noticed with hyenas, they have like these huge like crocodile alligator type of mouths that they open like fully wide. So that's why I have this picture here with this guy. His mouth is just like open like totally wide. I believe they have like one of the highest bite forces for hyenas as far as like animals. I'm not sure like if only mammals or all types of animals that their bite force is the highest. let's do these magical gems. Violet for the trail effect. Let's see. Some more water. Dilute it a little bit because I want it to go lighter than the actual, than full strength. I think at the very end I'll highlight these with gouache, so it looks white gouache, so it looks like it's sparkling. Clean this up a little bit. Now we'll do my character Yusuf. So he'll be orange, which is orange golden. Clean up that brush. the water out, too much water. Almost done with the, oh, I have to do the gems. And then I forgot, I should do the shadow under them. I should do like the cerulean blue for the shadows. Let's see. This is a red. The red is really thick. Maybe I should water it down more. Blot it out again. I don't want the red to be too overpowering. I want it to be bright to show, so you can see more of the white. This watercolor, this sketchbook is not really good to blot out too much. Blot out too much. I noticed that because when I do this one, it kind of gets, the paper starts breaking up. Oh well, that's why I have colored pencils from there on in the gouache to use the white for that. So I want that area to pop Okay, I think that's it for this layer. So now I want to do more of the local colors. I'm going to start with this wall and then use Payne's Gray light wash over it. And also I'm going, even though these characters are going to have a local color as well, I'm going to have a low saturation, so mix the colors with Payne's Gray so they're more gray-like. So because the emphasis I want it to be on this action here. Maybe this guy he's more saturated. Of course, him in an explosion. So let's try to do that. Maybe add more water to it so it's washed out. I want to be lighter here, so let's move some of this color. Okay, that works. Let's do a similar thing with the ground. Maybe the ground will be a little bit darker. Have some of these poking through. It works. I want it to be darker. Try to make the bead go in one direction. A bead of water. And lining up this area. Trying to reintroduce some of those lines back in. And let's let that dry a bit. Okay, so I used a blow dryer to speed up the drying process, and I think I want Vidra, the big bad sorcerer, necromancer, to have a red skin tone and maybe his cape complementary color of green. So let's try that. Let's see. Which red should I use? Well, I guess we can use, no. Let's go with a warmer red. Let's see. Let's take a look. We should just go with a cooler red because he's in the background. Maybe go with this one. Let's try that. How do you pronounce that? Quinacridone rose. Quinacridone rose. Okay. So I zoomed in a bit as well. Okay, let's do this. Maybe mix some Payne's gray with that, so it's even more color because he's way in the background. Okay, let's go with this cape. Let's go with the turquoise. Let's see. Let's go with turquoise. Again, he's like way in the background, so. Mix it with some Payne's gray. I think his arms are exposed, his upper arms, so I should paint that with his skin color. So we start using a smaller brush for these. And his armor should just be straight up. I'll just use straight up Payne's Gray. I need to dilute it with some water. He has like a little skull, like a ram skull on his shoulders, but I might have to detail that with the colored pencils instead. And I forgot, I guess it doesn't really matter for him, but I wanted to have like the lighting, some of the lighting, some highlights affecting him too, but he's so far away, so it probably doesn't matter. I'll have to remember that for the others. And let's go with some brown for his belt, and then his hair tie. Maybe the grip of his blade as well. So now, I think most of these what do you call them again? Knolls, yeah, knolls. They will be, let's use umber, some brown color. Umber for their skin, and then Payne's Gray for their armor, or umber for their fur. You have to remember to move the camera later on. Way too much water here. painting over this guy's ear. Oh well. I might just have to make him more pronounced with the colored pencils. Whoa, way too much. Okay, get this guy. Move it up a little bit. And I forgot to have their colors affected by the lighting of the explosion, so let's make sure to do that. Anyways, the other guys are farther away. His uniform, it's like a reddish violet colored. So let's go and use that same color that we used on him. The what do you call it? Quinacridone rose, but make it full strength. I mean, not saturated. I mean, not mixed with Payne's gray. I have to remember to have the affected by the explosion, the lighting of the explosion. Okay. And his hair is black, but let's use Payne's gray for that. And you can make sure it's affected by the explosion. Okay, that's good. Now let's do his. Yeah, because I wanted the emphasis mostly on him and on explosion. So I almost had to redo the whole thing from scratch, and then I didn't even record it. So what happened was, this is the same method I did last time, but I put after I did the watercolor, I put a clear gesso on it for the colored pencils. And I did that last time too with the witch art, but this time I used a different brand. And what happened when I put the gesso on here, it muddied up the artwork, and I thought the whole thing was screwed. And it wasn't really that clear, but after I waited a while and blow dried it, it did show up a little bit clear though. So what I ended up doing, so I didn't record it because I thought maybe the whole thing is screwed up. So I ended up doing the whole thing over with colored pencils, and then using an alcohol blender marker. And then I did that for a while, and then it actually turned out okay. And then I used white gouache for the highlights, and then tinting the highlights with some pastel color, soft pastel pencils. And then it actually turned out pretty decent though. So it took me a while to fix it because I thought just for the longest time that was screwed up. But I actually like the way it turned out though. You notice because I covered it with the clear gesso, like all the ink lines disappeared though. And actually, even though it took me a while though, I actually like the effect more because it seems more like a dark and sinister dungeon, and the only thing you can really see are the creatures here. You know, the knolls, and you have the lighting reflected on him, and then the explosion from the light reflected on my character. And the source where you can't really, he's in the back, so he's really blurred. But also when I did with the alcohol markers, I kind of like, after I clear with that, it's a clear alcohol marker, and I use this right here, Winsor Newton Pro marker, and what I did was on the background, like on the floor and the walls, and even on the source over the back feature, I just kind of like went back and forth multiple times, so it looks like there's speed lines. So we have a sense of movement, even on this character too. So there's a sense of movement, like they're rushing towards the character, or main character. So I like that effect a lot. So it looks like, you know, everything's like really fast in motion, and he's also not very detailed as well, because all the ink lines were covered, and I did like really really grayish wash on him, and he's kind of blurred because I went over his body with the ink marker. Yeah, but then the effect looks pretty cool though. I liked it. All right, that's it. Until next time, everybody. Bye.